Lesson 29, Seeking Perfection. The awareness that Allah is observing you, so you perform acts of worship as if you see Him. Seeking perfection in worship and action is one of the attributes that this great religion calls us to. It is one of the characteristics of the upright, who follow the way of the noble Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah proclaims, "Transcendent is He in whose hand is dominion, and He has power over all things. He who created death and life, that He might try which of you is best indeed, and He is the Almighty, all-forgiving." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, "When one of you performs an action, truly Allah loves for you to perfect it." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam clarified the meaning of perfection when Jibreel said to him, "Tell me about perfection." He replied, "Perfection is to worship Allah as if you see Him, and if you see Him not, know that He sees you." What is meant here is that you are aware that Allah is observing you, so you perform acts of worship as if you see Him. A believer must therefore seek to perfect his every action. If he does so, his actions become sound and pure, and are then accepted by Allah and the reward multiplied. A few good actions performed with excellence are superior to many good actions performed without it. It is better, for example, for someone to recite a small amount of the Quran whilst reflecting upon it, seeking to understand its meaning and perfecting its recitation, than for them to recite many pages doing none of those things. Likewise, Muslims should seek to perfect their ablution and other acts of worship. The noble woman and scholar Sayyida Nafisa said after praying the funeral prayer over Imam al-Shafi'i in Egypt, "May Allah have mercy on Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. Indeed, he used to perfect his ablution." Look at the understanding of this knower of Allah. The only attribute she mentioned about him was his perfecting his ablution, but in doing so, she had indicated that he had attained the station of perfection in his worship of his Lord. This is because whoever perfects the ritual ablution will inevitably perfect the prayer, and whoever perfects both of these has perfected their entire religion and all deeds in their life. Thus, she attributed this quality to him, drawing people's attention to the fact that if believers fail to perfect certain actions, they will in turn fail to attain perfection in all their actions. Someone who pays no heed to perfecting their ablution will pay no heed to perfecting their prayer, and likewise their zakat, fasting, pilgrimage, charity, or any other act. When believers attain perfection, Allah elevates their rank and then recompenses them with goodness. Allah states, "Shall the recompense for goodness be other than goodness?" They should thus seek perfection in all of their states and their affairs, especially their acts of worship. They should perform these acts in a state of awareness that the one that they are worshipping is observing them, so that it is as if they see Him. This is truly a lofty state. Many people perfect their actions when they are aware that another person is observing them, but when there is no one else present, they have no concern for perfecting them. Is it not sufficient that Allah is observing them? Believers must purify their hearts from the disease of being concerned with creation whilst ignoring their Creator. They should ascend to a higher level of faith, such that they have far greater awareness of their Creator than they do of the creation. A man was once praying. Then he sensed that someone had entered the room, so he deliberately improved his prayer. He then heard a voice from above him saying to him, "Had you not performed the beginning of your prayer for Allah, your name would have been removed from the book of the felicitous, and it would have been recorded in the book of the wretched." Those who make no attempt to perfect their prayer have been severely warned by Allah. So woe to those that pray, those who are heedless of their prayers, those who only want to be seen. They have failed to attain perfection in two ways. Firstly, they are heedless of their prayers, meaning that they delay performing them until after their specified time. Secondly, they wish to show off to people by performing them. Thus, due to their heedlessness and showing off, they deserve to receive tidings of woe and a severe warning from Allah. We seek refuge with Allah from this. We ask Allah to give us perfection in all of our actions and to raise us to the highest degree of perfection. Forgive us for our wrongdoings and treat us in a way that is befitting of your mercy and your compassion, O Lord of the worlds. May the blessings and peace of Allah be upon our Master Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his family and companions. All praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds.